All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Monday evening live session where we are going to discuss about crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma project. Okay, so all right, before that, any new member in the room right now, please let me know in the chat. If you're attending this session first time, please let me know that I am the new member, and first we will welcome you and then we'll start the session. Okay. So a lot of people are yet to join in. Chalo. So we'll do this. We'll start the session, and as they will join in, we'll welcome them maybe at the end of the session. Okay. So today's topic is about crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma project. Okay. So today I'm going to speak about. See, as an organization, we have lot of different kinds of challenges. Okay. Are all challenges can be solved by Lean Six Sigma? The answer is no. There are some particular challenges, process related, operations related challenges, quality related, customer complaint related. Yes, we can definitely deal with them. Okay, so now let's deep dive into the topic, and then we will discuss this further. Okay, first let me talk about where you can find out the projects, how you can find out the projects, where you can find out the projects, and how to craft that so-called perfect project for Lean Six Sigma. Okay, so the first easiest source for identifying the project, let me share my screen so that we can discuss this. All right, so the first simplest strategy to identify Lean Six Sigma project is low performing KPI. What is KPI? It's key performance indicator. We all know about it, right? Key performance indicator. What is key performance indicator? I'll give you some examples of it. Like I always give in the cricket match, for the batsman, the key performance indicators are how many runs that batsman is scoring. What is the strike rate of scoring? What is the average of scoring? How many half centuries, how many centuries that person has made? Are you understanding? So these are called as key performance indicator. The indicators which are basically telling us the performance. Similarly, processes also have key performance indicators. Okay, and you can find out key performance indicator everywhere. Let's deep dive into KPI. It is the measurable value that demonstrates how effectively an organization is achieving key business objectives. As far as the context of organization is concerned, it is a measurable value that demonstrates how effectively an organization is achieving key business objectives. KPI is used to evaluate performance over time, and it helps us to gauge the progress towards a specific goal. Let me give you some very day-to-day life example. Once you become Lean Six Sigma certified or expert, you should walk into any organization. Now understand this. Organization could be even a street stall vendor is also organization for me, because he's doing a business. There are key performance indicator. If you go to a salon, there are key performance indicator because there are some business happening. So you can actually think about it. Let me give you some examples so that you easily can identify, and if you practice this, you can easily identify key performance indicator of your own process. Let's deep dive into, let's say if you go to a salon. Okay. Now what are the key performance indicator for the salon? Example, customer satisfaction rating. If they are getting some feedback, so that rating given by on the scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, that will be a key performance indicator, how they are performing. Appointment attendance rate. What percentage of scheduled appointments clients are actually attending. Average revenue per client. That is also a key performance indicator. More the revenue per client, better it's for the business. Employee utilization. What is the distribution of the work across the employees? How much utilization are we doing? All these are key performance indicator. Product inventory turnover. Yes, so these are some of the indicators to showcase whether my business of salon is doing well or not. These are some of the performance indicators. Let me give you another example of a hotel. Occupancy rate. Let's say there is a 5-star hotel. So percentage of the rooms booked and occupied. Let's say we have 100 rooms, out of which 70 rooms are occupied, is 70% occupancy rate. So more the occupancy, better is for the hotel, better is for the revenue. Average daily rate, the average price paid by the guest, right? Customer review score, again the same. Revenue per available room, employee to guest ratio. All these are key performance indicator to the hotel. I'm giving multiple day-to-day life examples so that you can go to any kind of institute, organization, or even a hotel or a salon, and you can find out KPIs. For the grocery store, what could be the KPIs? Type in the chat box. Let's do this. Let's do the brainstorming here. How to define the KPI? Yes, let's discuss this. First, find out. Imagine, Kalindi ji, imagine you are a grocery store owner, right? Simple groceries. That's why I have taken very mundane example, day-to-day life example, like a salon or a hotel and the grocery store. Sales, daily sales. Okay, so as an owner, whether your performance, your grocery store is doing good or not, how will you come to know? What are the indicators that will tell you whether you are doing good or not? Those are key performance indicator. Sales versus revenue. Sales versus revenue, okay. Stock and sales, okay. Customer review index, very nice. What else? Type in the chat box. Think about it. Why this is important? Because once you start thinking in that direction, then finding out KPI for your own process becomes very easy. Inventory carrying cost, okay. And we have number of customers coming in, walking in. On an average, how many people are coming in? That is a very good indicator. More the number of people walking in, more is the probability of making the sale. Daily sales is a very good indicator. Inventory stock, that is a very good indicator, right? You don't want to block your money in lot of inventory. As in the lean we see, inventory is a waste, right? But as a grocery store itself is a mini warehouse, correct? It's a retail warehouse. But we have to make sure that the inventory should be well calculated, well defined. Okay. Total footfall, very nice. What else? Fantastic. Expiry percentage. Okay, let's look at this. Sales growth. Measure the percentage increase in the total sales compared to the previous period. Let's say last month or last quarter, we had X amount of sales. What is this quarter's performance? So we can compare quarter to quarter. Inventory turnover rate, right? So calculate how quickly the inventory is sold and restocked. That is a cycle. How quickly we are turning around the inventory. Faster the turnaround rate, better for the business. Always remember this. See, when we have smaller inventory which is turning around faster, that means you are accumulating small inventory which is getting consumed, which is getting sold, and then you are replenishing it. That is the ideal model for as far as the lean is concerned. Then the basket size, average value for each customer shopping cart. That is also one indicator. Let's say if you have a bigger grocery store like DMart, etc. Shrinkage rate, monitor losses due to theft, damage and expired product as a percentage of the total inventory, right? Because of the handling of the material, etc. Some of the material gets damaged, so that is a shrinkage. Customer footfall, that we have already discussed about it. More the footfall, better is for us. So this is how. So which indicator, now these are not only indicators, we can add another 10 indicators to this. Okay, we can add another 10 indicators, right? So what is our topic? How to craft a perfect project now. So we are discussing about that. For even for a simple vegetable vendor also, daily sales revenue, customer count, waste percentage, profit margin, customer loyalty, these can be monitored as. So yes, let's talk about HR. Now we have talked about the general examples like salon and a vegetable vendor and a grocery store. Let's talk about specific to the industry, starting from HR. Okay, now type in the chat box, what are the HR KPIs? Type in the chat box, everybody. Attrition, very good. The first and foremost, attrition, because attrition is very important KPI. What else? Time to hire, very important, very important. Once somebody leaves, how much time you take to hire the next one? Learning and development, yes. So what is the KPI? Indicator kya hai? L&D is a function, I would say, a sub-process, a sub-function. What is the indicator of L&D? Recruitment time can be an indicator. Recruitment time can be a measurable aspect. Training impact, okay, training impact is very good indicator. Satisfaction score, so employee satisfaction, employee productivity, training effectiveness, very nice. Again, training is a process, right? What is that? So training effectiveness can be the indicator, okay? Cost per hire, also a very good indicator. How much cost are we spending on resources? Resources can be consultant, right? Resources can be something which we are buying out the notice period. That is also cost to the company, right? Employee engagement score, competency mapping. Yes, competency is a very good HR indicator, and HR's objective is to increase the competency of their manpower. Employee evaluation, overtime ratio, fantastic, super. So some of them are employee turnover rate, which is nothing but your, the attrition. Time to fill, again, time to hire. Employee satisfaction score, training and development, return on investment. Now, somebody wrote training and development or learning and development, right? Here, the indicator could be ROI. Let's say if you are spending, if we spent 10 lakh rupees on Lean Six Sigma training and consulting project, okay? How much ROI we have generated because of that? That is something HR would be interested in, the impact of the training and development, right? Then absenteeism, also one indicator, okay? Whether our policies of HR are capable enough to control the absenteeism, right? Fantastic. So these are some of the HR, this one, okay? Marketing. What could be the marketing indicators? Now we are specifically talking about the industry. Okay, so we'll talk about HR, we'll talk about marketing, sales, production, etc. Order conversion ratio would be that would be a sales wala thing, right? Business growth could be one. Number of new inquiries is the indicator of marketing. Fantastic. Lead generation, basically the leads. That is the marketing objective. Market reach of the product. Product knowledge. Okay, how will you measure the product knowledge? See, KPIs are measurable. Understand this. The first characteristic of a KPI it has to be measurable. Otherwise, it does not make any sense. Customer retention rate. Very good. Customer retention rate, customer satisfaction index. Okay, very good. So let's see what are the marketing. So customer acquisition cost. How much time, how much cost are we getting to acquire? Customer lifetime value, conversion rate, market return on investment, marketing return on investment, lead generation. Okay, that's the first one. Okay. Then when it comes to sales revenue, sales growth rate, customer churn rate, sales win rate, which is the, out of how many leads you have converted, and average deal size. These are the sales indicators. Okay. ARPU, yes, ARPU for telecommunication, that is very regularly used, right? Very nice. So then for production, we have OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, production yield, cycle time, downtime, scrap rate. What else can be added into production? Type in the chat box. On time delivery, okay, very nice, superb. Or I would say OTIF, on time in full. On time assembly, average production rate. Yeah, average production rate, rejection percentage, I think scrap rate है यहाँ पे. Downtime, yes, downtime लिखा है यहाँ पे. Downtime है, cycle time है, 0 errors. Very good. Yeah, so errors basically, we are measuring the errors. Production cost. Asking rate of production also we can measure. Very good. So what is the asking rate and what is the current rate of production, right? So asking rate of production we can find out with the help of takt time. Remember? Available time divided by customer demand. If you remember that customer demand and available time, that is something we can find out. Superb. Now, in your process, let's do this exercise right now. Write your own process KPIs in the chat quickly. At least 2 KPIs for your own process. Everybody just type 2 KPIs for your own process, which you are monitoring. Very nice. NPA, CSAT, FCR, HT, SLA, PNL. Very good. Superb. Just type 2 KPIs. TQM is a science, right? What is the indicator? Let's say if you are doing TPM, then let's say OEE can be the indicator. Server uptime can be a KPI. Training completion rate can be a KPI. Customer complaints can be KPI. Very good. ROI on L&D is a KPI. Very good. Zero breakdown, which is breakdown time, is a KPI. MTTR and MTBF, mean time to repair and mean time between the failure, that is the KPI. Absolutely right. Business growth year on year, that is a KPI. Network uptime is a KPI. Very good. Supplier performance, that can be a KPI. Downtime, delivery time, very good, very good. Superb, superb. Have you realized all these are your potential projects? Whichever KPI is not performing, whichever key performance indicator is not performing, that is your KPI. That is your Lean Six Sigma project. Whichever KPI, key performance indicator, is not performing, is not doing well, that indicator is not doing well, that is your potential Lean Six Sigma project. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. So why I gave you multiple examples is because of this. Clear? So I have given you a very powerful hint. This is the simplest and the most powerful way to identify projects. First you list down the KPIs. Okay. Then you list down what is the target for each and every KPI and what is the current performance. And wherever there is a, exactly, planned versus actual. Okay. And wherever there is a gap, that is a potential Lean Six Sigma project for you. Okay. And I always suggest whenever we are starting, start from your own function. Even though Lean Six Sigma is applicable in all the functions, let's say you are from HR, start from the HR KPIs. Identify one gap. Let's say attrition. Take one project of attrition. And even when you are starting, okay, do a Pareto analysis. Identify, let's say there are 10 departments in your company. Which department has the highest attrition? Select that department first. Don't take the entire company-wide initiative. Okay. Initially scope it down so that you can focus on the priority issues, and your focus will not be kind of, what you can say, diluted. Okay. So the first understanding, first learning for the evening is identify your key performance indicator, collect the data, and whichever key performance indicator is not performing, that is your project. Are you with me? Just give me yes in the chat box. Are you with me till now? Very good, very good. Superb, 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 superb. Now let's talk about how do we craft this. Once we identify the project, let's craft. There are few characteristics which we need to understand. Okay. While qualifying the project, we need to understand certain characters of that. And what are those characters? Let's talk about it. As I indicated, it should be measurable. It should be measurable. Okay. That's why any KPI, your project, your KPI, which indicates the success or failure of the project, it should be measurable. If it is not measurable, it is not the project. Okay. Second point is it should be controllable. I'll give you example for this. I'll give you example. Let's say, we do a lot of consulting in plastic related, companies, etc., PVC related companies, etc. Now, their raw material is basically a petroleum product, petroleum based product. So their raw material is a petroleum based product. Now, we all know the crude oil prices keep on fluctuating because there are so many factors controlling them. Are you understanding? Yes, Russia-Ukraine war happened, the crude oil prices will go. If there is a war in the Middle East, the crude oil prices will go up. If then there is something wrong with Venezuela, there will be crude oil prices will be different. So petroleum prices will be very much fluctuating. Now these people, these kinds of PVC and plastics, etc., PPEs. So those people, basically the purchase people, whenever the prices are lower, they will purchase the material with the high quantity. So they will get the better rates for, because, and whenever the prices go up, so that they keep a stock so that the costing can be under control. So some of the factors company cannot control. These are out of the, these are, global factors which influences. So if you take any project, cost control, inventory control projects, so the factors are not in your control. So those projects will not be, of course, there are a few areas where you can still work, but again, majority of the factors are out of your control. So do not qualify them as a project of Lean Six Sigma. Are you understanding? Then, yes, any question we have, please let me know. Okay, measurable and controllable. It should be measurable. It should be controllable. Controllable meaning the causes of the problem should be within your complete control. Are you understanding? Yes? Very good. Important, must be defined target. Yeah. So we'll speak about target and all those things, but these are the one, factors which I'm explaining. It should be important. The project which you are defining should be important either for the customer, which we call it as critical to customer, CTC, or it should be critical to the business. What is critical to customer and what is critical to business? I'll give you example. Let's say delivery time. Delivery time is very important for the business point of view, for the customer point of view, because customer's process is depending on your delivery. Are you understanding? So critical, it should be either critical to the customer, or there are certain critical to business KPIs. For example, like we have seen the machine downtime, mean time between failure, mean time to repair, MTTR, MTBF. These are internal parameters, internal KPIs. Loss of production, it's an internal KPI, right? So either it should be important to the customer or it should be important to the business. So your project should address either customer issue or the business issue. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear, everybody with me? Measurable, controllable, CTC, CTB. And the last one is unknown solution. Wow. What is this unknown solution? I have seen people, they already know the solution for the problem, but They just want to retrofit that solution in the Lean Six Sigma framework. Those are not Lean Six Sigma projects. I call them as just do it project or Nike projects. Nike meaning because Nike's tagline is just do it, right? Okay, so if you know the solution, just do it, right? Why do you need Lean Six Sigma? Where Lean Six Sigma is required, where you don't know the solutions and you don't know certain causes and root causes. That is where Lean Six Sigma is applicable. You know some of the causes, you know some of the solutions, but you are not sure about it whether it will work. You are not sure about all the causes. That is a perfect recipe for Lean Six Sigma projects. So measurable, controllable, important for the customer and the business, and solutions unknown. These are the qualifying criteria for the project. Yes, everybody? Just give me yes. I'll share this document with you. You can just download this document for you. Okay? Very good. Let's move ahead. I have multiple factors too. Then clarity and specificity, which is very, very important character of crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma project. So define the problem clearly and specifically, outlining what is wrong with the current process and why it needs improvement. That's why in the project charter we have business case, problem statement and the goal statement. These are the three statements where we are clearly, specifically mentioning what exactly is the problem, how big is the problem, since when is the problem, what is the impact of the problem, everything. Avoid vague statements, vague meaning unclear. Okay, and focus on quantifiable issues. Again, quantifiable meaning measurable, the same thing. If it is not quantifiable, if it is not measurable, it is not Lean Six Sigma project. Very simple. It has to be quantifiable, it has to be measurable. The impact should be measured, very simple. That's why KPI, I started with the KPI only. KPIs are always measurable. You will not get, KPI which cannot be measured. Alright, so clear, this clarity and specificity are very, very important. Yeah, give me example, Ravindraji, where you cannot measure that. Okay, even qualitative also we can measure. For example, employee satisfaction. Okay, or the test of the product. Right? So these are kind of a vague indicators, no? For you, satisfaction will be something else, that, for other person satisfaction will be something else. Similarly, the test also, customer satisfaction also. There we can use rating. Now, if you have anything which, which put in the chat box. Now think about it, everybody, this is for everybody. Anything which you think of that you cannot measure, but it is important. Can you think of that? Type in the chat box, think about it. Very, very good point. Okay. Employee happiness. Yeah, so satisfaction index, that is what is that rating, right? That is what we discuss. And we can find out the rating, correct? Employee satisfaction. Yeah, think about it, guys. Just take few seconds, few minutes and think about it. What is that factor which I am not able to measure? ऐसा कुछ भी है तो let me know in the chat. That in my company, this is the area where we are not able to measure that. Morale, again, the same thing. The same thing which can be, measured in various. So when we do the employee satisfaction survey, there are a lot of areas where we can basically indicate this. Okay. Loss of credibility, loss of trust. Very, very good point, Dr. Gupta. Now, let's say loss of credibility of the company, the brand image of the company, or loss of trust. Now, these are the factors, but it will impact somewhere. For example, let's say credibility of the organization is lost, or trust of the organization. I'll give you a couple of examples. If it is in the market where the sales, your sales will drop, right? If you remember a few years ago, a very famous chocolate brand had few worms found in the chocolate. If you remember that story. Okay. Now because of that, their sale went down for a very long time. And after that, they got Amitabh Bachchan as the brand ambassador. And then, if you remember the campaign, they started a campaign where Amitabh Bachchan ji was going in the process with, yes, exactly, correct, remember? So these are the indicators. So what is the indicator? The loss in the sell. The recent example in the stock market, if you remember, there was one company, even that happened with that Maggi noodles, exactly. One company recently, few months ago, right? So one of the US based consulting, US based or European based, I'm not sure. So they put some allegation, and immediately that company's stock price is going down. Remember that? Yes? The Indian company's stock prices first started falling down. So these are the loss of trust, loss of credibility, right? Those kinds of factors which are, so indicators are loss of sell, loss of, the stock prices. These are some of the indicators of that. Yeah. Recently it is Indigo Airlines. But what is happening is Indigo is because they have the 65-70% market share right now, and customers don't have many choices. Okay, so that is where if another couple of players enter in, then that kind of a monopoly can be broken down. Anyway, I hope we are clear on this point. So wherever there is lack of clarity about this, think about how do I measure this? What are the indicators that will measure the impact of it? Okay. Yeah, MTNL also has the same situation. Fantastic. Chalo. Let's talk about the scope. The scope should be clearly defined. As I gave you example of HR, let's say attrition. Now understand this. Don't take the entire, let's say your organization is a huge organization. Don't take the entire organization attrition as a scope. Because every department, every function, the causes could be different. So the better strategy is make a Pareto. What is the highest attrition departments or functions? Focus on them. You define your scope, and more narrower your scope, better is the probability of success. Understand this? So you can focus on that problem area more. Do not take a huge scope. That's what I said, manageable size. Very, very important. So you define your boundaries clearly, and it should be manageable. Do not overboard lot of functions, lot of departments. Make the scope larger. Initially it should be less, because when you start you will do yellow belt project, green belt related project, etc. Once you become confident of handling multiple functions and having some experience under your belt of driving these projects, then you can enlarge the scopes in the the black belt level, etc. But initially go with the narrower scopes. Okay. So while crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma product, scope is also very, very important. Now these are some of the mistakes we also had committed in the past. So we are defining that you should not commit a similar kind of mistakes in your project selection. Okay. Now this is something which we all know, SMART, goal selection, etc. Right? SMART, everybody must be aware, specific, right? Measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So your project should be following to this framework of SMART. Yeah, Johnson Baby product also. You're absolutely right, Ankanji. Absolutely right. Alignment with business objectives. Now this is also very important. Huh? Your project should have alignment with the business objectives. All right. Okay. Now every organization. That's why. Who defines the project? Who identifies and defines, finalize the project? We all know it is master black belt plus top management. Yes. Now, so top management's job is to check this alignment of the area or the gaps of the area. See, every organization do this exercise of strategy. Okay, every organization makes strategies for this year, yearly strategies. Some organizations make 3 yearly, 5 yearly strategies. Now these strategies, and there are some framework, let's say SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity and threats. Okay, and there are other frameworks as well. Through these frameworks, what happens is, like Hoshin Kanri, SWOT, these kinds of framework we have discussed in the master black belt levels as well. But through this framework identifies the gap between the requirement of the market and what we are delivering, and that is the gap which is the potential project. Now if we do this alignment, which is the role of this top management and master black belt, if we go through this alignment, then our business objectives are not our projects are not standalone projects. They are aligned with the businesses. Example, I'll give you example. Let's say your business wants to expand in the Middle East. Are you understanding? So all your projects should be related to how do you generate leads in the Middle East? How do you close more sales in the Middle East? So your projects also should be aligned with that. If your strategy is to expand in the Middle East in this year, and your projects are not aligned with that, then organization will not get impacted. Your Lean Six Sigma strategies should be aligned with your organization goals and strategy. It should not be a standalone. Are you clear? And while selecting the goal, you can refer the entitlement. Now, a lot of people ask the question, how do we select the goal? How do we set up that number? Okay, so entitlement is one of the way of doing this. What is entitlement? Let's say we all know that how much time, how much data should we collect before we start the project. Type in the chat box, everybody. I say this multiple times. How much minimum data should we collect? Type in the chat box. Very good, very good. Superb. 1 year, right? 1 year data. Why 1 year? What is the objective of 1 year? Because in 1 year, all the permutation, combinations, seasonal trends and patterns can be identified. So you select at least 1 year data. You collect at least 1 year data. Let's say you're talking about attrition. Collect 1 year attrition data. You're talking about machine downtime. Collect one year machine downtime data. If you're talking about sales or lead generation, collect 1 year ka lead generation data. So once we collect 1 year data, let's talk about attrition, for example. Okay, average attrition is, let's say, 5%. Okay, this is 1 year data average. Okay, average. Now in this 1 year, let's say January to December, we have 1 month where we had 2.5% attrition or maybe 3% attrition, let's say. So this is our best performance. Okay, this is our best performance. So whatever best performance we have during the time data period, what is the baseline data, and that is called as entitlement, and that can be considered as initial goal. We can set up that as a goal. So from 5 average, we should target 3 average. So 3 meaning we have accomplished that for 1 month. So that means our process is capable of achieving this performance. So why can't we expand this to 12 months as well? Okay. And then the project team works on this direction to reduce the attrition rate from 5% to 3% within next couple of months or 3 months. So entitlement is one of the indicator. Second indicator could be the industry standard or could be the global standard. But initially, what I would highly recommend, go with your internal entitlement as your goal. Don't take global standard immediately as a goal. First, go step by step. Take your entitlement as the initial goal, and then you can go to industry or the global standard in the next level. Clear the points which we discussed in the goal setting while crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma project? Just give me yes in the chat box. All the points are clear. Goal should be smart. Goal should be aligned to the objectives. And while selecting the goal, initially, do not take global standard as a goal immediately. Set up entitlement as your goal. Entitlement is your best performance in the past. Okay? Is your past best performance. Very good. Superb. Superb. Any question, please put it in the chat. Okay? Now, while crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma project, team plays a very important and critical role, because Lean Six Sigma is a project driven methodology. We all know that. We solve critical problems of the business, critical problems of the processes by using Lean Six Sigma with the help of team. Because why team is required, by the way, type in chat box. Can we do the project alone? Why team is required? No, we can't do the project alone. Then why the team is required? That's my question. Collaboration, okay? Why team is required? Different skills, okay? Brainstorming, very good. Data input, superb. What else? What else? Very good. Brainstorming, specialization, SME, backup, collaboration, mutual agreement, very nice. Stakeholders to measure, fantastic, fantastic. Very good. Superb, superb. Now, why do we need the team? Why do we need the team? Okay. Is because all the Lean Six Sigma certified people who are working, they do not do these projects full time. What does that mean? That means, let's say if you are a HR manager working and plus you are a Lean Six Sigma black belt, okay, so you have to perform your HR management duties plus the project. If you are a production manager or a production supervisor or a production executive, your production duties have to be performed plus Lean Six Sigma project activities. So you are always part-time Lean Six Sigma practitioner. In the industry I'm talking about. That is expected from you. Full-time kab hoga? When you are either master black belt or a consultant. Then it's a full-time role where you don't have any other responsibilities. Your first responsibility is drive Lean Six Sigma. Projects, training, coaching, identifying projects, setting up the culture in the organization. That is your primary responsibility. Okay. So you have a part-time role, right? Like a cricket team, there will be few people are batsmen, few people are bowlers, somebody will wicket keeping, somebody will do the fielding. So there is a team effort. Similarly, in Lean Six Sigma also, there is a team effort. Now, we select a cross-functional team. How do we define the cross-functional team? What are the departments? What are the functions which are getting impacted? And those are called stakeholders. We know that, right? So next couple of slides, I'm going to talk about it. Stakeholders. Stakeholders are the departments or the people who are getting impacted because of the problem we are facing. Okay. So first we select the cross-functional team which represents all the stakeholders, and there we use 20-60-20 rule. This is very interesting rule. Okay. And what are the roles and responsibilities? Again, most of you have already suggested in the chat. Teams are required to collect the data first. Teams are required to finding out the causes. Teams are required to finding out the solutions. Teams required to do this analysis of the data, implementing the solutions, communicating the solutions to the other team members. All this requires the team. You cannot do it alone. And you know what? If you find out the solutions yourself, people will not accept it, even though they are the best solution. So Lean Six Sigma practitioner's role is not to identify the solution, but is to identify the solutions through the team, so that they will own that solution. That is the most important element here. Understand it. This is what I'm talking about. For example, let's say if there is a problem. See, I'll give you two scenarios. If there is a problem and you are the Lean Six Sigma expert, your role is not to find out the solution. Your role is to impart the knowledge of Lean Six Sigma and let the team decide the problem, root causes and solution. And let them come out with a solution. They will own that solution and they will implement it. If you identify the problem and give the solution, they will resist. And that's where resistance comes. Are you with me? Just give me yes in the chat box. Are you clear with this point? Very important factor here. So our role is the enabler and not the problem solver. Okay. And this is a very effective way, because we are enabling other people also to solve the problem. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes. Okay. Very nice. Superb. Now let's talk about 20-60-20 rule. In any organization, normal distribution curve. Okay. Let's say on the x-axis, if I plot engagement, for example, okay, this is engagement, or what you can say, optimistic behavior. Optimistic behavior. Okay. Behavior. So every organization, 20% of the people will be very optimistic. So let me write optimistic. OPT is optimistic. The last 20% will be very pessimistic. Pessimistic meaning, let me explain you this. Optimistic and pessimistic, there are two opposite poles. If I have a scale, okay, one meaning super pessimistic. Okay, let me just draw this a little differently. Let's say this is the scale. 20%, 60%, and again 20%. So 20% will be, let's say, on the scale of 1 to 10. I'm talking about the positive behavior, etc. Okay. So a lot of people will be pessimistic. What is pessimistic? They will say nothing can be done. This will be like this only. I am seeing this for last 20 years. Lot of people like you have come and gone. Nothing has changed. Pessimistic people. आपको क्या पता हमारे problem? See, these are not people pessimistic. This is their attitude. This is their thought process. They're not bad people. Yes, have you seen such kinds of mindset around you? Just give me yes in the chat box. Have you seen such kinds of mindsets? Yes. Very good. A lot. Very nice. Yeah, that's true. And on the other extreme, okay, let's say I have to give 1, 2, and 3. They will be all pessimistic people. Okay. And all 8, 9, and 10 will be all optimistic people. What is optimistic? They will be ready to take the challenge. They will be ready to experiment. They will be ready to change. They will have ideas. Right? Like all of us, exactly. Like Lean Six Sigma people. We are the change leaders, change managers, change agents, highly ambitious. They are, they will never say die. Always go-getter. They are positive people, optimistic people. And you will see these kinds of people around you as well. Okay. And there are 4, 5, 6, 7 rating wale people. They people will be maybe people. Maybe. Maybe meaning they can be easily get influenced. Somebody pessimistic person is their leader. Okay, leader meaning, when I say leader, it is unofficial leader. Wherever there is a group, there is a leader emerges. If they go in the pessimistic people leadership, they will become pessimistic. If they are in the group of optimistic leader, they will become optimistic. So they are always in between. And you will always see in any organization, again, when I say 80-20 rule, it does not mean exactly 80, exactly 20. Here also, when I say 20, 60, 20, this is just general numbers. Just to understand, this absolutely exists everywhere. So we are not alone. This is a global phenomena. Okay. So you will always get 20% optimistic, 20% pessimistic, and 60% people on the, they are in the maybe wala category. So while selecting the team composition, you take maximum optimistic people, because let's say if you take, you take 5 people, all are pessimistic. Imagine the worst case scenario. You know what will happen? You are the project leader. You are Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt, Black Belt certified. You have selected a project. You made a team. All of them are pessimistic. You know what will happen? Your entire energy, time, resources completely will be drained because of these people, and your time will go in convincing them and explaining them, removing their, all whatever pessimism they are having, and you will not be able to deliver it. So better you go with optimistic people in the team, and some of them maybe also you can carry along with you. Are you clear? So this is very, very important. How to understand pessimistic people? From their behavior. From their speech, you can easily. Okay, I'll give you an indicator. I'll give you an indicator to identify pessimistic people. Okay, this is very important. The people who have, make a note of this, people who have no, never, not possible, neither, any N words in their vocabulary more, whenever you share the idea, they will say no, not possible, not here, not with us. Are you understanding? So this is one indication of the pessimistic behavior. Okay, so your antennas should be always alert. Okay, so this is not the right fit for my project. On the other side, if you are sharing some ideas to other person and see, okay, that looks fantastic. Okay, that looks great. So the people who are expressing the positivity from their vocabulary, you can consider them. And not only speeches, I would say. Their behavior also indicates, Even, you can make out a pessimistic and optimistic person even by the walk. For example, because I study the body languages, optimistic person will stand very straight, upright. They will walk very fast. They have some objective to achieve. Pessimistic behavior, their shoulders will be down. They will be looking downwards. They will walk very slowly. They are kind of directionless in their behavior, in their, in their body language as well. Are you understanding this? So always you have to, and see again, these are not bad people. It's a behavior pattern. It's a trait you need to understand. So while team composition, go for optimistic. Clear everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. No eye to eye contact. Yes. Absolutely right. Very good. Clear? Walk very fast without any object, They are very smart people, by the way. They know how to manipulate this science. Okay. If they know this, they will do this. Okay. Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. There are few people who are, they will walk fast Okay, and they will go there and sit down, don't do anything else. But during the walk, they will be very fast because they know that I am being observed by the CCTV. I am being observed by my colleagues, by my boss. So they behave like that. But it's not true. See, understand this, guys. Whatever you do now, whatever you manipulate, can easily people make out with this. Okay, what is truth? Truth you can hide for some time, but it comes out. Truth is truth. You cannot do away with that. Okay. Now, let's talk about stakeholder analysis and engagement, right? So we all have studied stakeholder analysis. So identifying stakeholder, addressing their resistance is very, very important. Okay, identify the stakeholder, same thing, the departments and functions which are getting impacted because of the project are our stakeholders, right? So we have a stakeholder analysis tool with us, and we have to communicate with them continuously. Okay, identify the resistance points from them. Why are they resisting? Are there real concern areas? There could be real concern areas as well. Like last time I gave you the example, sales department, for example. I think here we have that, sales department. Here you can see. Sales department, we want them to be compliant because R stands for required level of commitment, right? But they are opposing. Now, when we speak with them, we identified sales department is the highest attrition hit department. There are maximum people who are, and HR is not able to recruit enough number of people. So the remaining people are overburdened already. And over and above, on their shoulder, this project has been given by the management. That's why they're not supporting, because management is not able to understand their sales target is getting impacted because of this. It's a genuine problem. Are you understanding? So stakeholder analysis is a tool to gauge what is the engagement level, what is their contribution in the project. Are they contributing? Are they showing their commitment with their actions? If they're not, we need to investigate as a leader, guys. And investigation does not mean only speaking. We have to listen to them. We have to understand. We have to show some empathy towards them. Are you understanding this? Yes. So stakeholder analysis is a very, very powerful tool for us to craft the project and to manage this, scope the project as well as manage these people, very effectively. Okay, this is a very powerful tool. What else? Yes, and then, yes, when we are crafting these projects, one is data requirement. Till now, any question? Everything is clear? We are discussing the points which are important while defining and crafting the perfect Lean Six Sigma project. See, there is nothing called perfect, but again, we'll go closer to the perfection. Excellence does not have the destination. It is a continuous journey. Okay. More stakeholder metrics. So this one, see, this is from your green belt curriculum only. This is available. So stakeholder analysis, once you go to the green belt define phase, no, you will come to know this. I'll just quickly take a couple of minutes to explain this. What is stakeholder analysis? As we understood, stakeholder are the people who are getting impacted because of the problem. The project, problem meaning the project. Okay. Now, what we do, we take few optimistic people. Let's say, for example, we'll collect some optimistic people from sales, from the management, from the, that process employees, from the customer, from the supplier. So, and then we make a team out of it. Okay. Now, this team should function properly, no? Now, to function this team, properly functioning this team, we require to gauge their commitment level. Now how do we gauge the commitment level of somebody? This is a very difficult task. That's why the stakeholder analysis has been crafted. The objective of the stakeholder analysis is to find out what is their engagement level or the commitment level towards the project. For example, there are various levels they have defined: supporter, compliant, indifferent, uncooperative, opposing, hostile. For example, supporter meaning is the highest level of commitment. They are fully engaged with the project. They are fully supporting the project. Compliant meaning whatever you are telling them, they are absolutely following them to the T, 100% following. That is compliant. Indifferent, what is indifferent? Indifferent meaning they are not, there is no impact for them, not much impact. They are indifferent. उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, kind of thing. Are you understanding? Then uncooperative, they are not cooperating with the project. Opposing, it's another level of uncooperation. Okay, here there is uncooperation, right? For example, like Mahatma Gandhi started, no, this movement, right? Uncooperation. We will not cooperate with you. For the Britishers. Opposing meaning it's a next level of uncooperation. We'll oppose it. Okay. Hostile meaning we will oppose with the power. Right? I'll give you example. I gave, I think, multiple times this example in one of the project in Indonesia, where in the project solutions we had put some sensors in the machine just to check the speed and how much time that machine is running, just to calculate the productivity. Now these people were so afraid to the workmen in the night shift. They used to cut the cut the cords, the wires, cables of those encoders and the sensors what we had put over there, because they had the fear in their mind that if this project succeeds, we might lose our job. So that's what I said. Like the sales department example, like this example of this Indonesia project. So we have to understand the real pain of the people. Why they are not engaged, why they are not committed, why they are not performing in the project. So to gauge this analysis is very helpful. Okay. Why the uncooperative or opposing? So this is something which happens generally in the project. Mr. Ravi, your point is absolutely valid.
Sir,
that is the remedy. So that optimistic people selection is a remedy for this. So while you are selecting the people, you should select optimistic people just to avoid these kinds of mishap. Are you clear? You said something. Just say something.
Yes,
I think.
sir, I was saying that for optimistic, if it is pessimistic or an optimistic mix, then I can understand for the pessimist, they may be opposed or there may be one who are non-cooperative. But for the optimistic one, will there be a same situation for them, which is
now understand this. Let me give you a scenario. Okay, let's say April month, there's an increment time. Okay, imagine we start a project in the month of March. Well, all are showing optimism. Okay. Now then the day comes of increment. The increments are declared and some of the so-called optimistic people get less increment. Now the scenario has changed. Because of this, see, optimism, pessimism are the mindsets of the people. And they can get influenced because of so many factors, and increment can be one of them. Okay, a lot of hard work I'm doing, additional projects we are doing, still management is not, recognizing our efforts. So sometime the people who are initially optimistic may become neutral or can become pessimistic or semi-pessimistic as well. Now, again, the stakeholder analysis is not static. This is just like a score of the cricket match. It goes up and down. Sometimes wicket go up, sometimes the score goes up. Similarly, so that's what we suggest. Stakeholder analysis should be done every phase wise. Okay. If lot of people are not supporting, then you can escalate it to the management. Okay, that's a very fantastic question, Raviji, for this. Clear, everybody with me? Through Raviji's question, I think this point has been clarified in a even more clear way, I would say. Yes, everybody with me? Just give me yes in the chat box. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Gupta, for... yeah, no problem. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. We are anyways in the end of the session. We'll close this, okay? Super. Now, coming back to the data requirement. While crafting the project, do we have data with us? That is the most important, because what is Six Sigma, for example? It's a data-driven methodology. We'll use statistics, right? Graphs, Minitab, right? If you don't have data, Again, we'll go back to the old way of solving the problem, right? Old way also we are solving the problem. Now we are opinion based, experience based problem solving, and that's where the problem is coming back again and again. That's where the data requirements make data availability makes very important case. So we all know y is equal to function of x, where y is my output and x is my input, right? So output is our KPI, what the project we have selected. Attrition, so attrition is my output, is my key performance indicator. Machine downtime is my KPI, is my key performance indicator, right? And what are the inputs? Okay, there is a tool which we use, which I think just few weeks ago we had taken that session on XY matrix. How many of you remember XY matrix? There was a tool we discussed about XY matrix. XY matrix is the matrix where all the Y's and all the X's we list down, and then we check whether the data is available for that. Exactly, cause and effect matrix. Now this is not a fishbone, no? This is not cause and effect diagram. Fishbone is different than XY matrix, okay? So I would recommend you people to go through our masterclass archive. Let me just type for new people, by the way. Masterclass archive, live masterclass archive we have in our LMS system. In my courses segment, you will have masterclass archive. In masterclass archive, I think 7-8 sessions ago, we had taken this session on XY matrix. Okay, so just to conclude this point, so we have output data. So whatever yearly data we cover, now 1 year data we collect before project starts, right? So that is our output data. That is our data of Y. Now, as the project progresses, we should have the data of inputs as well. What are inputs? For example, let's take example of machine downtime. So we should have the data of our preventive maintenance. We should have the data of what are the total month-wise downtime, or within the machine what are the specific parts failure, that kind of downtime. So all the factors which are impacting our total machine downtime, so all that data should be available for us. And whatever data is available, it should be reliable and accurate. How do we know it is reliable and accurate? For example, if you, let's say when you visit that process, if there is somebody who is manually capturing data on the file, on the piece of paper, then the reliability and accuracy of the data should be questioned, because there could be some manual error in entering the data on the paper. Then somebody will feed the data in the Excel or in the system. There also could be some kind of data entry error can happen. So there could be some data reliability and accuracy challenges could come. On the other hand, there is some IoT generated data, Internet of Things related data, the data which is coming from the system, the data which is coming from the sensors, okay, where there is a very minimal manual intervention and reliability and accuracy is very high. So for our kind of a project, reliability and accuracy, because again, understand this, statistics is all what? Statistics or Minitab. Let's take Minitab. Whatever data you are putting in, that analysis it will do, right? If you put garbage in, you will get garbage out. That's why reliability and accuracy of the data is very, very important. Clear? So if the data is not available, don't start the project without the data. Better you collect the data for some time and then you start the project. Are you clear? And then whatever data you have, check the reliability and accuracy of the data. Yeah. Then realistic timelines and milestones. What is realistic timeline? I want result in 2 weeks. Now understand this. Management, some of them are very aggressive. They are not, maybe they are not aware about Lean Six Sigma methodology, how it works, etc. First, challenge or first constraint what we have is all the people working professional, they are doing part-time Lean Six Sigma projects. That's the first constraint. Okay. Now all the other team members also doing part-time along with their routine daily activities. They are doing projects. That is the first constraint. Second constraint is we have to go deep down into causes and the root causes and validate them with data. And it takes time. It takes time. If you want to do a superficial job, then you can, it's a compromise to the Lean Six Sigma project, which you should not accept in the first place itself. So what is realistic timeline? Now, if you know, I always mention this, yellow belt projects, if you are doing a very small projects, generally, at least you can expect 1 month to deliver some results. Green belt projects, 3 months. Black belt projects, 4 to 5 months. Now, with the help of some AI tools, etc., we can cut down this, but better you can keep these timelines in front of management. Black belt projects are the most complex projects where multiple functions are engaged. Green belt projects are medium-sized projects, only one process is involved. Yellow belt are very small projects, low-hanging fruits, Kaizen types of projects. Okay, so 1 month, 3 months, 4 to 5 months. So you should not expect the results before this. And this is a realistic timeline. As I said, you're doing project part-time. Second, we have to go deep down into causes, root causes, data, validity, etc., validation, etc. It takes time. If you want to do a quality work, you have to show this timeline, realistic timeline to the management. Okay, and then milestones also, define phase, and so you can break it down: define phase, measure phase, analyze phase, etc. Okay. Financial impact. Always select the highest financial impact projects. Okay, because understand this. We are doing Lean Six Sigma. We are putting our resources, lot of resources. Maybe we are hiring consultants from outside, trainers, consultants from outside. So we should always prioritize the highest financial impact making project. Okay, do the cost benefit analysis, potential cost benefit analysis, and prioritize those projects, those areas which will have highest impact. So that when will you calculate the return on investment, let's say I invested 10 lakh rupees into this and I got 1 crore rupees. So it is 10x return on investment. So that kind of financial impact, if you can show, then management also will get motivated to, drive these initiatives continuously in your organization. So always select the highest financial impact making projects. Okay. Yeah. Then the last point I would like to discuss is the risk management. Before we start any project, identify the risk. I'll give you some examples of the risk. Now some of the risk we can identify earlier while selecting the project. For example, some of the risk is the management change. Okay, one of our client has been taken over by another client, by another company. Now this is very interesting case. Now after March, this coming March, the complete management will change. It was a US company earlier. They came here almost 25-30 years ago. They did their business. Now they are exiting from the business from India. Now one of the Indian big conglomerate have acquired that business vertical. Now earlier was the top management was US based, their culture, their strategies, everything was different. Now it is an Indian based organization, their culture, their strategies, everything will be different. Now if the project is falling in between, that might be the risk. Are you understanding? Yes, RPN, severity and detection and occurrences, absolutely right. So we should identify such risk. Is there any such kind of thing, or is there any in between the CEO has already resigned and is going to leave? That can be the risk, or the person who is driving the project, he has resigned and gone out, right? So it can be any risk. So you have to, whatever risk you can list down right now, you can see, you can foresee, those risks can be listed, and then you should make some mitigation plans. Okay, just like what we do in failure mode and effect analysis, FMEA. Right? So first you identify the risk and what you can say, make some action plan. If this happens, I will do this. If that happens, then I will do this. Okay, so that kinds of mitigation strategies you should work upon before you start any project. Okay, so in our classic Lean Six Sigma project charter, we have a small part of risk as well, associated risk. Okay, order flow rate and supply chain issue. Yes, supply chain issue. Just one example I gave you for in the plastic industry about, if let's say anything happens in Middle East, then immediately the petroleum rates fluctuate, and that can be a huge risk. The cost can go up. So whatever calculation, the financial impact calculation you have done earlier, that can go on the toss. So those kinds of scenarios you have to consider and identify the risk, and so that it shows how much well prepared are you for this. Are you understanding? Yeah. So I think these are some of the factors which we have to take care of while selecting the project. So let me just quickly go one by one. First point, what we discuss. Yeah. Can we just quickly discuss what are the factors we discussed today? One by one. Type in the chat box. Randomly you can type in the chat box. Nice class today. Good fresher session for me. I'll have to see how. Okay, thank you very much, Neha. No problem. Yeah. So we have discussed about KPI, key performance. So we started with the easiest way of identifying projects, which is key performance indicator. Okay. Then SMART framework we discussed, right? Very good. Quantifying the project. So the crafting the main process is quantifying the project. Measurable, controllable. It should be important for the customer to the business, right? And solution should be unknown. Then we have seen clarity and specificity. It should be very clear. We should collect 1 year data. Accordingly, we have to craft our project. The scope of the project. Set the boundaries. I gave example of the attrition project. Don't take the entire organization attrition. Select the top attrition departments and define your scope. Okay. It should be manageable in size. Then SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And then alignment with the business objective. And while setting the goal, set up entitlement as your initial benchmark. Okay. Then team composition, cross-functional team, 20-60-20 rule, optimistic, pessimistic. So get optimistic people more. That will ease your lot of pressure. Okay. And define roles and responsibilities. Then stakeholder engagement. I showed you this. This stakeholder management is basically to address the resistance. Okay. So you have to communicate with them continuously to make them align with the project and make them more supportive to the project. And then data requirement, y is equal to function of x. Collect the data of y, collect the data of x's as well. No data, no project. Very important. Okay. And data should be reliable and accurate. Yes, timeline should be realistic. I have given you the timeline, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, right? And then select the maximum highest financial impact project as a priority and manage your risk, identify your risk. All right. So all these points will make our perfect Lean Six Sigma project. Okay. This is very, 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 very important. Super. Thank you very much. Any question which is AI using green belt project? Yes, exactly. I will do that. Okay. Yeah. This entire PPT will be shared in the masterclass archive. You can download this PPT and use it. Okay. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Any question which is unanswered, you can ask. Very nice. Very nice. Superb. Superb. Thank you very much for joining in this busy Monday schedule. Okay. We'll connect again on Saturday with the new topic with the same enthusiasm. Till the time, keep learning, keep growing. This is Dinesh Patil.